and welcome back to another video. This is Flower Heart Plans. My name is Harley, and today we are going to chat about my mid-year planner and notebook lineup. I'm going to talk about the planners that I've used so far in 2025, plus the ones that I'm going to use for the rest of the year. So I've used more planners and notebooks than the ones you see here, but these are a mix of the ones that I'm currently using and the ones that I'm going to be using. So, for example, I started the year off in a big vertical happy planner as my daily journaling. I was using a traveler's notebook for goal planning that didn't work out. And I also had a couple of sterling ink planners, one that I was using to track my media consumption, but I stopped logging that in the beginning of the year, and I had a daily one that didn't work out. And in April, I switched to the Hobonichi Cousin, which I'm going to talk about. So those planners I will not be showing in this video because I'm no longer using them. But we are going to start with the ones that I was currently using up until the end of Q2. For transparency, today is June 29th, Sunday. So we have a couple more days left of June, but I'm talking as if June is already done because I'm going to start my Q3 planners tomorrow. So the main planner that I work in is my B6 and it's the planner that you probably see most of on my channel. And I keep it in this cover by Paper Bound Creations on Etsy. It's this hot pink cover that is really pretty, and I've used it since January of this year, and it's held up pretty nicely. I have a full year Stalogy in here that I use for daily planning, a half year Stalogy that I use for notes, and then in the front, I keep tucked into the front band here, a B6 monthly booklet by Sterling Ink. So this planner is where my planning system starts in my monthly booklet. And I basically plan ahead in here. So I've written in holidays and appointments that I have upcoming throughout this year. And this is my pre-planning, which sounds redundant, but I think you know what I mean. So this is where my planning starts. And I really love this booklet because it meant that I didn't have to draw out the calendars in my B6 Stalogy. However, I'm transitioning into a new planner that has monthly calendars pre-printed in them already. So this monthly booklet, I will not be taking into Q3 with me, but it did serve me well while I used it. For the rest of the year, the appointments and things that I have planned in here already, I will just transfer into the next planner that I'm going to use. And I might use this planner for something else. I haven't decided, but as of now, it's not going to be utilized in Q3 and Q4. So we'll put this booklet off to the side and get into the B6 Stalogy. So I use a full year Stalogy notebook, and I started it in January. I'm not going to do a flip of it now. I will do a separate video for that. But basically, I do daily planning in here. And this is what I would consider my everyday carry. Even though once it got chunky, I didn't carry this around with me so much. It is my catch-all everything planner. So this has my to-do list, my appointments, my notes, anything that I need to reference, I will come back in my Stalogy and reference. This is what I would call a record of my year. This is my brain on paper. This is basically the truth about what actually happened in my life this year so far, from January until the end of June. Now there are pages left here in the back of this notebook. I'm just going to use these for scratchy notes just to complete the notebook, but this planner, this B6 Stalogy, is not moving into the rest of the year with me because I have a new planner that I showed on my channel because I'm super excited about it, but I'm moving from a B6 Stalogy as my catch-all planner into the B6 Plans by Just Scribble planner. This is going to be my everything planner for Q3 and Q4. And this is basically the perfect layout for me, the perfect planner. It encompasses the way I was planning in my B6 because it has a weekly dashboard situation and then daily pages. But it has so much more than that. It's pre-printed. I have the weekly horizontal overview. I have my monthly calendars already printed, which I'm going to transfer everything from that monthly booklet into here for the rest of the year. And this is going to be where I put everything that I want to keep at the end of the year, including my tracking, my to-do list, my notes, appointments, everything will be in this planner. This will be my main planner. I haven't set it up yet, and I need to get on that because this planner starts tomorrow. And I'm a little bit late to the game, but I will set this up today and I will start using it as my catch-all planner. So this is the planner that I will be using come July. The next planner I want to talk about is my Hobonichi Cousin. So in April of this year, I started using a Spring Start Hobonichi Cousin. And I wanted this because I originally had a daily Sterling ink planner, but that planner didn't really work out for a number of reasons. So I wasn't daily journaling for about 2 months at the beginning of this year, and I really missed it. So I thought I would give the Hobonichi Cousin another try. I have tried to use the Cousin and the Cousin Avec in previous years, and I usually use it consistently for 2 months and then I fall off. But so far since April, I've been in this consistently, and it is continuing with me into Q3 and hopefully for the rest of the year. So I'm just going to do a quick recap of how I use this. I will do a flip through of April through June in here, more in depth. But for now, I will just mention how I use it and how I plan on using it in Q3. These yearly pages up front, I had plans for, but I'm no longer using this spread. So the first layout that I use is the monthly. This is for memory keeping, writing down a highlight of the day. Then in my weekly, this is where I functionally plan ahead. This is what I was using as my functional planner from April through June. And I would basically come in the Hobonichi each week and write down my ideal weekly plan. And then I would use this to plan in my B6. But since I have the B6 Plans by Just Scribble planner that has a weekly overview in it, I no longer need the vertical weekly to do my weekly planning. I can really just write it here. And because this B6 planner is pre-printed, I can pre-plan on the days themselves. So I no longer need the Hobonichi weekly layout to plan ahead. So instead, what I'm going to use this for is goal planning, project planning. I'm not exactly sure how the layout is going to look or how I'm going to do that goal planning or project planning just yet. I will figure that out hopefully sometime today so I can set up next week. But this weekly layout will be used for bigger projects and goal planning. And then the daily pages, I will continue to use the same way that I've been using it, which is daily journaling. Well, it's actually not journaling so much as daily logging, just writing down what I do in the day. It's not deep journaling. It's pretty surface level stuff, but I do like having this to reference when I look back and think, well, what did I do that day? Or when did I last do this thing? And I can reference it in this layout. The Hobonichi daily pages go in more depth than the daily pages in my Stylogy would go. And I'm going to continue putting my to-do list and notes on the daily pages in this B6 Plans planner, but I'm going to keep the Hobonichi daily pages as my daily logging for more in-depth specific events and stuff that happen during the day. So the Hobonichi Cousin will continue into Q3 with me, and I'm super excited about it. I do want to mention that my favorite pen right now to use on the Hobonichi paper is this Unijet Stream Light Touch ink in a 0.5 because it doesn't smear. It doesn't really take any time to dry on this paper, and I haven't had any issues with it smearing or anything. So a ballpoint pen is my pen of choice. I prefer using a gel pen, but the ballpoint pen is a better choice specifically for the Hobonichi paper this year. And I have it in this cover by Hobonichi. I bought this a couple years ago, I believe. I don't know if they still have this on their website, but this is a cover that I enjoy. It is a fabric cover, so it does get lint and dirt on it sometimes, but it's not a huge deal. I do have a cover on cover I could use, but I just prefer the feel and look of it without the clear cover over this. So the Hobonichi Cousin is coming with me. Oh, let me put my pencil board back on my weekly page. And then we can move on to, let's do this little notebook. This is a Pen and Gear lined notebook that I got from Walmart. It's a very inexpensive notebook that I just got to throw in my purse. This is a new one I haven't used yet, but my current one is in my purse because I use that every day as my on-the-go planning. And I just wanted to mention that I do have a notebook that I take with me to plan on the go that will change in the next few weeks. I am getting a new on-the-go planning system, which I will share once I get it in my hands and I can unbox it and set it up with you all. But for now, I'm going to continue using this little spiral notebook for my on-the-go notes and planning and lists that I make. For now, I'm also going to take this monthly booklet that I was using with my B6 Stalogy and use this on the go with this notebook because this will fit in most of my purses, not all of them. I'm currently getting smaller and smaller with the purses that I carry, but for now, this little B6 booklet will fit in my purse with this notebook, and I can use this for planning on the go. So this will continue into July with me, but as we get further into Q3, I will have set up my Passport Traveler's Notebook by then, and that will take over as my on-the-go planning. But for now, at the start of July this week, I will be using these two together for on-the-go planning. Then let's talk about the Erin Condren Petite Monthly Planner. This actually started July of 2024, and I started it in October. This is what I use for YouTube content planning, and I don't really share this on my channel because a lot of what I write down in here never actually happens. Sometimes I have big plans that don't come to fruition, but sometimes it keeps me on track with what I need to do. This will continue into the rest of the year with me. And something new that I'm going to do with this notebook is, in addition to using the monthly to plan when I want to post certain videos and video topics, I'm going to use the notes pages in the back here as a checklist layout. So I'm going to write the video idea that I have here and then check off the steps of the video as I complete them. Erin Condren does have a checklist petite planner that I thought about getting, but I figured I have these notes pages in the back that I could use and easily make my own checklist layout. And if I like it, then maybe next year I can get the actual pre-printed checklist planner. But for now, I'm just going to draw out my own checklist layout in the back pages here and use this as my YouTube content planning planner. And I basically just used pen and Tombow marker to draw this out. So it's a really easy setup, and I'm glad I didn't purchase a whole new planner for this. I'm just going to use the pages I have back here, but this will continue until the end of this year. Then we have my Happy Planner Mini, which is in a cover by Live Love Posh. And this is not set up yet. I set this up at the beginning of the year with the mini dashboard layout by the Happy Planner as my health and wellness planner. That didn't end up working out, but I do want something for my health, wellness, and fitness planning. So I'm going to set this up as a recipe book, a health and wellness tracker, and a collections book for exercise routines, meal planning, meal ideas, self-care ideas, things that I can reference, come back to when I want to exercise, but I don't really know exactly what I want to do. I can come here, pick out a workout that I want to do, or pick out a recipe that I want to make, but I haven't set this up yet. So I have an idea of the sections I want to have, and I'm just going to use paper inserts by the Happy Planner. These are ones that I bought specifically for my planner that I set up at the beginning of this year. So they're bright and colorful, but I'm still going to use them for my health and wellness tracking and collections. So I am going to set this up. I'm hoping, really hoping that I can do this by the end of Q3, but that's the plan for this Happy Planner Mini. And then we can talk about the last few notebooks that I have here. So this first one is a Moleskine notebook that I got from Target a while ago. I put the sticker on here, Dare to Begin. I don't remember if this is from the Happy Planner or Live Love Posh, but I put this one here on the front and this sticker on the back. This is what I use for my morning and evening pages. Morning pages is a practice popularized by Julia Cameron in The Artist's Way. I have tried to read that book and do that course. I have not completed it, but the plan is that I'm going to complete that course, The Artist's Way, in Q3, and I'm going to use this notebook to continue my morning pages, but also to take notes on the course itself. And there are points in the book and in the course where you have to answer questions or write about a certain topic or something like that. So I'm going to use this notebook for that because I don't do morning pages regularly yet. So I have a lot of empty pages in here. And I do decorate ahead of time in here with leftover stickers and washi tape that I have from kits that I use in my other planners. So nothing really extravagant, just anything that I have left over. I'm not going to show the rest of the pages that are decorated because there is writing on them that I don't want to share, but I have a lot left of this notebook. So this is going to be for The Artist's Way that I'm going to do in Q3. Then the last notebooks that I have here are A5 dot grid notebooks. The one that I have been using since the beginning of this year is this one by the Happy Planner. And I use this basically for notes and brain dumps. And I do decorate the pages just because I enjoy decorating my pages with stickers and washi tape. But essentially this is where I do messy notes, where I think through things on paper, where I just get stuff out of my brain and onto the page. But I wasn't really having a good time in this notebook because the paper quality is not what I would prefer. The dot grid is pretty dark, which I don't like. And the writing experience that I had with my Pentel Energel Clina in a 0.5, it just felt really scratchy. The paper is a little bit rough to me. And I was getting a lot of resistance when I write, like a lot of, I don't know how to explain it, but a lot of drag when I was writing. And my pen, which is usually fine on every other paper, would sometimes skip. I just wasn't having a good time in this planner for different reasons. And so, although I do have quite a few pages left in this notebook, I'm going to put this aside for now. I don't like to waste notebooks and paper, so I will come back to this for just scratchy notes or random stuff that I need to write down and I need a piece of paper for it, I will just come here and jot it down in here. But I'm no longer going to decorate the pages and write more formal brain dumps and notes in here. Instead, I'm going to switch to this Archer and Olive A5 dot grit notebook that I got years ago. So I don't think they have this one on their website, because when I got this, it was in the clearance section on their website. And I think I got this in 2023 maybe? I don't remember. But this is an A5 dot grit notebook. And I'm going to use this as my notes and brain dump notebook. So let's just do a quick comparison. To start with, I will tell you that from my experience, the Archer and Olive notebooks are better quality than the Happy Planner notebooks. And for one, the dot grid lines up on a 2-page spread like this. The dot grid lines up from page to page, which is really key if you're drawing out spreads or putting down washi tape that goes across the page. Having the dots line up is pretty important, and that is not the case in the Happy Planner notebook. I'm not trying to bash the Happy Planner notebooks or anything. I actually really love the Happy Planner. I love their stickers, their planners, all that jazz, but I just feel like this notebook wasn't what I would prefer. So we have the fact that the dots line up in the Archer and Olive, but also you can see the dot grid is darker in the Happy Planner versus the Archer and Olive, which is not a big difference, but for me, it made enough of a difference that it was distracting to write in it because the dark dots took away from my writing on the page. And the paper of the Archer and Olive is smoother than the Happy Planner paper. So there are just minor differences that make a big difference to me when I'm in the notebook. So again, I'm late to setting up my planners for Q3, and July is next week in a couple of days. And I haven't set up this notebook, but this is just going to be an easy setup. I'm just going to put a cover page that says notes, and then I'm just going to decorate a few pages ahead at a time and write my notes and brain dumps down in here. So this is the last. Oh, wait, no, it's not. It's not the last notebook. I have a couple of other things that I want to show before we go. So I have this Midori A6 notebook. It's hard to see because it's in a clear cover, but this is an MD notebook, a grit notebook that I'm going to use for my therapy notes. Because I found that after my therapy sessions, every week, I was using my pen and gear notebook, this notebook, the current one that I'm using. I was using it to quickly jot down notes and things that I wanted to remember from my therapy sessions. And there were things that I wanted to expand on later, but I wanted to just jot it down, get it out of my brain, and then write more about it later. But it would kind of get lost in all my messy, scratchy notes that I would have in this notebook. So I want a dedicated notebook to write about things that I talk about in therapy. And this isn't going to be journaling so much as keeping a log of my therapy sessions after the fact, or research about certain topics that we talk about, my diagnoses and tools that I learn, just things that will help me on my journey. I want to keep it all in one place so that I can reference. And I can just throw this little notebook in my purse because it's an A6 size, and I can easily reference this for my therapy notes. And then the last thing that I want to mention is this daily pad that I got from Amazon. This is a daily pad, so it has a daily page on this side, and then when you flip it, it has a daily page on the other side too. And it has a space for gratitude, priorities, a to-do list, notes, and an hourly schedule for the day. And I've been using this since December of last year, and I love it. I don't decorate it, but I basically use this on days that I'm busy, and days that I just need a little more structure to my daily schedule, especially when I have a lot to do and I need to see what I need to do by the hour. Now, I haven't decided if this is going into Q3 with me. It's undated, so I could keep this for whenever. But because I'm using the B6 Plans by Just Scribble Planner as my catch-all, there is a timeline on the daily page that I could use to do what I was doing in here. I didn't have this option before because I was using the B6 Stalogy basically as a blank notebook. So I didn't have a timeline option. But in theory, I could use the daily page timeline to break down my schedule by the hour. But then that would take away from what I usually use my daily page for, which is a to-do list and notes and a lot of decoration. So I don't know if I will need this daily pad at any point, but I have it just in case I need it. There's still quite a bit of it left. I usually only use this on the weekends or days when I'm off work and I really need to schedule my tasks by the hour or the half hour. But I just don't know if I want to use the timeline in the B6 Plans planner that way. So that's why I'm undecided if I'm going to need this daily plan or not on days when I'm really busy. So I have it if I need it, but if I don't use it, it's undated, so I could use it whenever. And that is it. Those are all of the planners, notebooks, and journals that I'm going to take with me in Q3. It's quite a lot, and in full transparency, I started 2025 off with a big stack of notebooks and planners, and I ended up only consistently using maybe 3 of those out of that big stack. So I know for sure I'm going to use my catch-all planner because I have to. This is basically my brain, and it keeps me on track. And my on-the-go planning is a definite in my planner lineup. This will switch to a Passport TN, but I need some kind of on-the-go planning. So this will definitely be used throughout the rest of the year. But I think the rest of them are optional. So the therapy notes notebook is optional, and it's not an everyday notebook that I need to use. This will just be as needed. So I'm pretty sure I can keep up with that. This brain dump and notes pages notebook is one that I basically do for things that don't fit in my regular planner. So again, this is as needed. It's not an everyday journal. My morning pages and the Artist's Way journal is going to be an everyday thing only because I will do my morning pages every day. But in terms of doing the course, that will be throughout the week. My Happy Planner Mini is going to be as needed. This is going to be more of a collections, not necessarily a planner or journal. So this I will set up and reference as needed, but I'm not going to be in this every day. Then we have my monthly petite Erin Condren planner, and this one I will use regularly, but again, it's not every day that I need it. It's basically a monthly calendar. So I plan this out at the beginning of the month, and then I reference it either daily or throughout the week. And then my Hobonichi Cousin, which is another planner that is kind of optional. I do miss memory keeping and journaling when I'm not doing it. So I most likely will keep up with this for the rest of the year. I've been really consistent. I'm caught up on my daily pages. I've been consistent with my monthly highlight of the day and my weekly pages. So although the Hobonichi Cousin is not being used as a planner, it is a journal that is necessary just for my peace of mind and my mental wellness and staying calm and all those things. It is necessary for that, but in terms of me keeping on schedule for things. It's not necessarily a planner for me, it's a journal. And so I think with all of these, I will be able to stick with it for the rest of the year. I don't foresee any big changes happening where I would need to cut out any of these journals or notebooks. So yeah, this is what I'm taking into Q3, and I'm super, super excited about it. And I would love to hear what you are taking into Q3. I would love to hear it. And if you are on the ball and set up your planners already, kudos to you. But I am a little bit behind, but I'm super excited to jump into all these. And that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching this video and hanging out with me. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.